Today, I'm going to be making jalapeno poppers. And probably a lot of you are already familiar with jalapeno poppers. They're basically jalapeno peppers that are stuffed with cream cheese and wrapped with bacon. I've made jalapeno poppers for years, basically slicing the jalapenos in half, scooping out the seeds, filling them with cream cheese, wrapping them with bacon, and then baking them in the oven. Recently, I was at Cabela's and I found this jalapeno popper stuffer. It's basically like a caulk gun, but you fill the tube with whatever you're using to stuff something with. It says it works great for stuffing jalapenos, mushrooms, green peppers, deviled eggs, pork chops, chicken breasts, and wild game like duck or goose. It has a clear poly tube with 3 stainless steel filling tips. So when I saw this, I wanted to get it and check it out and see how well it works. So let's open this up and see what's inside. The jalapeno popper stuffer comes with the stuffer itself and 3 different tips. And it has a small paper with some recipes on it and a 1-year warranty card. So to use it, you would unscrew this end right here, and you would use it just like you would a caulk gun. You would push this little lever here forward, and you can pull this back so you can fill the tube. Once you fill the tube with some softened cream cheese, you would select which tip you want to use, place it on the end, and screw this collar down. Then of course you would stick this in the pepper or whatever you're stuffing and just squeeze the handle to activate the plunger. And I also found a stainless steel jalapeno rack. It comes with the rack to hold the peppers and also a corer to pull out the inside of the peppers. The holes on the rack look a little large. I'm hoping that my jalapenos don't fall through. I actually bought a variety of sizes because I wasn't sure how big these holes would be. And the corer is pretty simple. It's just curved and serrated to be able to stick it in and pull out the insides of the jalapeno. And this rack also comes with the instruction sheet with a couple recipes on it also. I'll be making jalapeno poppers 2 different ways. And for one of those ways, I will be using the stainless steel tray. But first, I need to see which jalapenos are going to fit inside the tray because, as I said earlier, I have a variety of different sizes. So these smaller, darker ones look like they're going to do okay. And they will. I also have some larger, lighter jalapenos that really are not going to sit in here very well. So if you do decide to get one of these trays, you may want to be sure and get smaller jalapenos to fit inside these holes. Next, I'm going to try out this corer. As I said earlier, normally I split the jalapenos in half from one end to the other, and that basically gives me 2 halves to put the cream cheese in and wrap the bacon around. So I haven't used one of these corers before. And I would highly recommend you wear gloves when fooling with jalapenos. Because if you don't, right here on the cuticles below your fingernail is going to start to burn. And I can tell you that from experience. First, I'm going to cut the end off the jalapeno. Try this corer. I'm just trying to be careful and not cut the edges of the jalapeno. Well, I'm getting some seeds out, but I'm trying to not cut the jalapeno and be able to get that whole middle section out without tearing it up. Because if I end up slicing the side of the jalapeno, I'm afraid the cream cheese is going to run out. That did pretty good. It just took a little bit of effort. And I want to get a lot of the seeds out because I don't want the jalapeno to be overly hot. And that's the thing about jalapenos. You never know how hot an individual jalapeno is going to be. I think when I'm done coring all these jalapenos, I'll just run them underneath the faucet to be sure all these seeds are out. Okay, I'm going to try one more time and see if I get a little better at it. So as I've done more and more of these jalapenos, I realized that I can get a little more aggressive with the corer. Just stick it in. And then once I've got it broken free, I can just kind of move it around like that, and the core falls out really easily. I've got all my jalapenos cored And I rinsed out the inside cavity of each one of them underneath the water, and I was able to remove some of the additional seeds that I couldn't get out with the corer. So these are ready to go. For the first batch of jalapeno poppers, I'm going to be doing these what I feel is the more traditional way of just stuffing them with cream cheese, wrapping them with bacon, and then cooking them in the oven. So of course, I'm going to need some cream cheese. I'm going to soften it in the microwave. I ended up heating it up at full power for about 1.5 minutes. And I think this is the consistency that I want it to be. I know the bacon is going to shrink a little during cooking, so I cut the package in half, and I use just one piece around each jalapeno, and I'll hold it on with a toothpick. Now I'm going to fill my jalapeno popper stuffer. I'm not exactly sure if there's a best way to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and just use the spoon and try to keep it inside of the tube as best as possible. This is a tablespoon also, so maybe a teaspoon might even work a little better. The consistency of the cream cheese is what makes it kind of hard to get it pushed down without coming back out. Yeah, I lost a man right there. But I will tell you that when I stuffed the jalapeno peppers the old way by slicing them in half and using a spoon to kind of just get it inside the half side of the pepper, you know, that can be a little bit tricky too. It's not that it's hard. It's just trying to get the cream cheese to kind of stick where it's supposed to and not come back out once you've put it in. Much like is what's happening here in the end of this tube. I've got a little more room to pull the slide back, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to tap this up and down to see if it'll kind of help it come to the end. I don't want to hit this too hard and bend it. Maybe I'll just shake it. So by just holding it up and down and shaking it, you can get the cream cheese to kind of move down to give you more room at the end. Alright, I think that's going to do it for this load of cream cheese. I'm going to take a paper towel and just wipe the end so I don't squish that stuff in when I put the end on. I'm going to be using just the regular round tip to stuff these peppers with. So I'm going to stick this on the end, put the collar around it. And still got a little bit in there, but it's not too bad. And it should be good to go. This in the jalapeno. Nope. Not quite to the top. I think that might just have to do though. And then I'm going to take a piece of bacon and wrap it around just the top so that the jalapeno can still sit inside of the hole. And I'll take a toothpick and just stick it through to hold the bacon on. I think I'm going to actually put it through both sides to help keep that bacon from shrinking up too much and falling off. So there's one. Alright, let me do another one. Stick that right there. And I could just well hold this in my hand. It was just easier to put it right here to show it on the video. And as you're squeezing it in, you can kind of feel the cream cheese kind of push the end of the nozzle out as you're doing it. I'm still on the fence on how I like this. I mean, I know I'm not completely done with it yet, but I was really just used to doing the jalapeno peppers the other way. So, I don't know yet. So let me go ahead and finish stuffing these peppers. I've got my jalapeno poppers ready to go into the oven. And I'm going to place the rack on a baking sheet because, of course, it's completely see-through and any of the grease or cream cheese or anything else would fall right through. So the baking pan will keep that from happening. My jalapeno poppers are finally done. It did take a lot longer than I expected to get these things cooked. I ended up having to cook these for 40 minutes at 350 degrees. And then I changed it to 400 degrees for an additional 10 minutes. And as you can see, some of the cheese kind of starts coming out of them as they cooked. Maybe they're shrinking a little bit or something like that. But for the most part, they did okay. As you know, one of the primary things is getting the bacon done so that it's not fatty and stringy. So now that I have this style of jalapeno popper cooked, I'm going to go ahead and cook the next type. So for the next jalapeno poppers, I'm going to stuff them with bacon bits and cream cheese. After I do that, I'm going to deep fry these. So first I'm going to mix some bacon bits into my already softened cream cheese. I spared you guys the agony of watching me try to fill the jalapeno popper stuffer again. Ironically though, it was much easier to fill it this time, probably because I was not trying to do it underneath the camera. So I've got it stuffed with my cream cheese and bacon bit mixture, and I'll stuff my jalapenos. Now I have 3 different things I'm going to use to batter these jalapenos. I have all-purpose flour, my egg mixture, and plain breadcrumbs. The egg mixture is 4 eggs, 4 tablespoons of water, and 1 teaspoon of salt, all beaten together. I'm going to take my stuffed jalapeno and place it in the egg mixture. And next put it into the flour. I want to roll it around good and get a good coating on it, especially on the stuffed side. And I'm just going to take and lay these here on the sheet for about 10 minutes. Now that I've given the jalapenos about 10 minutes to sit up, I'm going to dip them one more time back into the egg mixture and then into the breadcrumbs. All my jalapeno poppers are breaded and ready to go into the oil. I let my poppers cook about 3.5 minutes. So here are the results of my jalapeno poppers. The baked jalapeno poppers that I used the stainless rack for, I really wasn't sure I was going to like those better than the way I used to cook the jalapeno poppers by slicing the jalapeno in half. But after eating a couple of them, I do believe I like this method a little better. And next time, I'll just cook the jalapenos at a little bit higher temperature for a shorter amount of time. The fried jalapeno poppers literally just came out of the oil, so I haven't tasted one yet, but I'm going to cut into one and see what it looks like. So I am pleased with both of the gadgets that I used today. The jalapeno popper stuffer, I had mixed feelings the first time I tried it. But once I did it in a more open area and I didn't have it underneath the camera lens, it was really no problem to fill it or use it. I also learned that I need to pull the popper back as I'm squirting the cream cheese inside of the jalapenos to keep it from getting all up on the side. But this was a review, and I was trying these things out for the first time, and I think I'll do a little better next time. And the great thing about the jalapeno popper stuffer is it can be used for some other things. I'm going to be cooking either some stuffed chicken breasts or pork chops, and I'm also going to do some stuffed mushrooms in another video. So I think this thing is going to come in handy for more than just jalapenos. So that's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.